Hi, Bri here of Bri's Creations, ready to show you my latest concept build. It all started with a little house that I created a few builds back called Chisano Hoseki. I don't have a video for it and there wasn't that much to it, but one concept I wanted to take a look at was the idea of setting up ponds at multiple levels, multiple heights, with water flowing from one to the next. Now I only had a 20,000 budget for that build, so I couldn't take it very far. I just had a couple ponds and like one or two sprinklers. It wasn't an amazing effect. But I wanted to use basement spaces to really go beyond that, and take it to the next level, so to speak. I envision sort of a mountain with ponds at various heights and waterfalls flowing from one to the next all the way down into our larger lake. So let's zoom in and take a closer look at the park that I created. It's called Oasis Falls, and as you can see I wound up with about four ponds, and the bottom one, well, five if you count the lake at the bottom. And then I just tried to keep it very natural looking with water flowing from various places, sometimes from above, sometimes from underneath the rocks, as you know, water can do. Perhaps it's a bit more than you'd see in an actual natural setting, but this is The Sims, so you gotta go a little bit overboard sometimes. And I really wanted to do a video for this because screenshots just don't do the water animations justice. But so this is Oasis Falls. And as you can see, while my main focus was on the mountain and the waterfalls and the ponds, that wasn't all that I did. I wanted to make this a fun park for the Sims, a usable park. So they've got horseshoes, kids play area, just a variety of activities. I had fun doing that little sandbox. And if you're wondering how I did things like the sandbox and the tiering of the ponds and so forth, I used basement spaces, and I'll show you later what it actually looks like. As you can see, even though the Sims can't fish in the big pond that's been enlarged, they can fish in these smaller ponds where I have the fishing signs set up. I wanted to do a little dock going out with a fishing pole and tackle box on it. I actually did that in that Chisano Hoseki build, so it's kind of a tie-in to that build. And just so a few different ponds that they can fish in, and then over here on the left is a picnic area. And ordinarily I don't like to have a bunch of Sims running around in my videos, but since this is a community park, I had no control over what Sims showed up, and I suppose it helps to show that they do come to the park and they do enjoy it. I set up a couple of easels because if you're going to have what I hope is a pretty natural setting, you should be able to paint it in case you don't have your camera. Set up a jacuzzi here with a little bit of water falling into it. That Sim is not really appreciating it right now. And they have a view of a little bit more water. And then I wanted to also have a swimmable area, so I created the swimming pool. Again, it has its own little waterfall inside, a swimming pool within a cave. I just thought that would be a fun touch. And even though you see a lot of rocks and plants around the edges of the pool that might make it look like it's non-routable, it is routable, and that's because I placed some of those using basement spaces, and the Sims ignore things placed in basement spaces in terms of routing. Here I'm swinging around just to give you a look at the back. The back is not, it's the foundation of the structure, so it's not too exciting, but even in the back I tried to have a couple of small touches. It's always kind of awkward when you're trying to figure out how to set something up so it looks great from the front and maybe it's not so amazing from the back. On this first deck up, I've got a nice little entertainment area, place to sit, music, bar, and of course a view down into the park. And then if you go up, I've got a top level here, and I set up a couple of spy glasses so that your Sims can have a better view. Okay, they don't work, but they're just a fun touch with Moo, and the view up here is pretty cool. Going down to this deck, I've just set it up as a picnic area with a little park map. Oh, it looks like a visiting Sim has knocked down our trash can. They're so mean. I will definitely have that repaired before I upload it. And then down below, I have got set up over here a small snack shop. Obviously, doesn't actually function as a snack shop, but it looks like one, and can go in and avail themselves of the refrigerator, coffee maker, and so forth. And right across from the way from there is a public restroom. So all the bases are covered there. And just swing by, this is the third pond that they can fish in. And just showing a bit more of the kids area. There's also a chess table over there. I kind of threw everything at this park to keep Sims entertained, and then I hope you'll be entertained by the structure and the waterfalls and so forth. And just giving you a closer look at what these ponds look like and the different ways that the water flows in. I really like kind of asymmetry and maybe doing a couple of unexpected, or having water flow from a couple of unexpected places. So you can see the fish jump on the pools on the top. Unfortunately, there's no way for your Sims to get up there, so no fishing up there. And just more of the waterfalls. Oh, and there is a little secret down there in the water. A big fish. Your Sims aren't going to be able to catch it though. Okay, so I do want to show you what the whole lot looks like from an overhead perspective, just to give you a better feel for where everything's located. And so that's what it looks like. And then I'd like to show you, actually going down, what that basement space looks like so you can see the vast majority of the stuff that I used. More rocks than you could probably imagine are in there, even if it doesn't look like it. That stuff all got placed from the basement using BB Move objects turned on, going down to the basement, placing the object, and then height elevating it to the point that I wanted it. There you can see it a little bit better in build mode. I actually used both basement levels. I had some extra large rocks and bushes down at the very bottom. It's not an easy process even just doing a normal height elevation, but if you want to go to an excessive height, as I did with some of these rocks to really get the height on the mountain, you'll find that there's actually a limit. So right now I'm pressing Control 9 to get this enlarged rock up as if I were going to place it, and you can see right here I can't go any higher than that. Well, you can. There's a little trick to it, but it is tricky, which is you kind of lower it a bit and then you click either of the arrows, and every time you click the arrow it's going to bounce it up, so you have to kind of play with it in terms of figuring out just how high. So that's about it for Oasis Falls Park. I hope you enjoyed the video of it, and if you're interested in taking a look at it in game, you can find it on the gallery. I've got the link below, and you can also find a link to a tutorial on basement spaces in case you'd like to try out the technique for yourself. Thanks for watching.